Hey everyone, this is Brandon One Arch,
This is Blakely.
and this is the Randoms Podcast.
Today we're doing the last video we did the 2010s. This time we're doing the 2000s. Starting off in 2000 animation. There's only one good animation movie for me. It was Emperor's New Groove.
I actually have that in my list as well. I also have 2000 was more of like my time, so that would have been, what was I, freshman, I think?
It would be 16. You would be, no.
I would have been 15.
15.
So I had Titan AE. I don't even know if you saw Titan AE before. I want to say Matt Damon was the lead character in that. It's taken out in outer space. And I had Road to El Dorado. But I promise you, I didn't see Road to El Dorado until like way later. Like 20 years later.
For that year, action, my number one was The Patriot with Mel Gibson. It was based around American Revolutionary War, or was it
Same thing.
Yeah, and then number two, I have Miss Congeniality.
Is that an action?
It's considered a comedy action.
Okay. Come action.
Number three, again, another comedy action, Shanghai Noon. And then I got number four, Charlie's Angels.
That's the OG.
Mm-hmm. That's with Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and I can't remember the other lady.
Is it Lucy Liu? I think it's Lucy Liu.
Yeah, but that was my top four.
My four are, I'll if you want me to go in order, I'll say Patriot as well. Heath Ledger is also excellent in that. There's a couple other rising stars in that movie. Most of them were children, though, I think, at that point. You also have, I put Shaft. I love the movie Shaft. Samuel L. Jackson. Which that can go action comedy as well, honestly. And I have X-Men. That's the first X-Men. To me, that movie is really good. All of them kind of had their story issues, I guess, in the older ones. And then I had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is still one of my favorite movies.
For now we're on comedies. I went number one, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It was a pretty good movie. Number two, I went Little Nicky with Adam Sandler. For some reason, I just like that movie. I have no idea.
There's some really good funny parts in that.
Yeah. Number three, I got Meet the Parents. The first one. No, that was this. Is that the second one out of the franchise?
No, Meet the Parents, I think, is first.
Yeah.
Meet the Fockers, I think, is the second.
I get those two confused. And number four, I got the very first Scary Movie.
Okay. I didn't really number mine out. I have four, but I have Scary Movie. I still quote that movie quite a bit, and I have The Mask. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's the
Jim Carrey.
I think that's the Jim Carrey one. Yeah, I didn't write Jim Carrey, but to me that's a comedy. I put Shanghai Noon, which is still one of my favorite comedies of all time, and Whole Nine Yards, which I saw that on big screen when it came out. You know, with Michael Clark Duncan, Matthew Perry, of course Bruce Willis, Amanda Peet. So.
For drama, I went Gladiator as up there. I went number two, Remember the Titans. And number three was Castaway. I couldn't find a fourth one.
So ours is almost identical. If I had to put them in order, I would have went Remember the Titans because I love that movie to death. If I remember correctly, and it's supposed to be based on a true story as well.
Yes.
But Denzel Washington, you can't really hardly go wrong. I'd probably, at number two, I'd put Gladiator. Number three, I'd put Castaway. And then my fourth one was Unbreakable. I love that movie.
Okay.
And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between drama for me and action. Because Unbreakable can be kind of considered both, I guess. To me.
Yeah. Drama is in a lot of categories.
Yeah.
For horror, number one, I went Scream 3.
Okay.
Two, I went The First Final Destination. And three, I went American Psycho because that's the only one I remembered out of the rest of them.
That's not a bad list. If I had to put anything, number one's Final Destination for me. Number two would be Pitch Black. I love that movie. That's the where Riddick begins with Vin Diesel. I consider that a horror because of the scenario in it. I have Scream 3, and then I have Dracula 2000s, which is just like those pleasure watches kind of for me because it's the soundtrack's great. It's kind of like Oh Brother We're Out There you had on comedy. I love the soundtrack for it. That's one of my like top 10 soundtracks probably ever. So that's kind of my thing there.
Okay, we're going to the year 2001. Let you flip your page.
Were you born through any of this?
2003 and on.
Oh, so yeah, these are like the fact that you know some of these movies are great, I guess.
Animation. We're starting off with animation. Number 1 was Shrek for me. And then, because you can't go wrong with Shrek, the first one. Even though the second one's better. And number 2, I went Monsters, Inc. I just think that's a legendary movie. And I didn't get no 3 or 4th movie.
Okay. Yeah, right kind of here during this time, 2001, I had Monsters, Inc. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Mike Wazowski and everybody else in there. Number 2, even though I'm kind of hit and miss on the movie because I don't really remember it that much. I think I've only saw it twice. Is Shrek. And then number 3 is Atlantis, which I love that movie as well. And then I have, as number 4, Final Fantasy Spirits Within is another one of my favorite.
For action, in 2001, number 1, I got the first Fast and Furious. 2, I got Driven.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Number 3, I had Pearl Harbor, which that can be a drama and an action, but I put it under action. And then same thing for number 4, I got Black Hawk Down as number 4.
That's a good one. For my action, I went Fast and Furious as well. Mine are kind of all out of order, but Texas Rangers is another one I have down. I have Mummy Returns, which is the second one, if I remember correctly. And Lord of the Rings. The first Lord of the Rings came out that year.
For comedy, I think for number 1, I have Joe Dirt. For some reason, I just love that movie.
I missed that one.
I just love that movie.
Or
For
that
some
would have been
reason.
my number 1.
Number 2, I got The Princess Diaries. With Sandra Bullock. Not Sandra Bullock.
Anne Hathaway, my girl.
Anne Hathaway. I can't remember the other woman. What was her name?
Is it Julie Andrews?
I think so. For number 3, I got Sugar and Spice. Saw that movie one time.
Is that where the cheerleaders rob banks?
Yeah, because the head cheerleader
I forgot what that was
pregnant.
about. Yeah.
And like they ran up and it's just for some reason I saw it on FX. And then I was like, I like this movie. And it was in my list. And number 4, I have Zoolander.
So I guess I didn't see those because like Sugar and Spice, I remember watching that when it came out. But then I forgot what it was about until you were just talking about it. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. My number 1, I had Spy Kids. I remember loving that. Number 2, I had Princess Diaries as well. Love that movie. Number 3 is Cats and Dogs. I still love that movie. And then number 4, Scary Movie 2. Movie 2 has some of my favorite parts.
For drama, I only have 1, and it was Ocean's 11.
Okay. For my dramas, I had Black Hawk Down, where I considered it a drama. I could see it action as well. I kind of cheated to do that. I have Along Came a Spider, which is based on a James Patterson book, Morgan Freeman. Behind Enemy Lines could be action or, because was Owen Wilson is in that.
Yeah.
And then number 4, I had Enemy at the Gates. My dramas are almost always going to be like historical type stuff.
For horror, I went Scary Movie 2, because you can consider it a horror too.
I can see that, yeah.
For number 2, I put The Mummy Returns because you can kind of.
I kind of.
And number 3, Jeepers Creepers. Even though I'm not really a big fan of the franchise, that was the only other one out of all of them that I've seen.
So my list is 13 Ghosts, which that movie still kind of scares me or creeps me out.
That's one. Ain't Matthew Lillard in that one?
Yes, yeah, he's the lawyer, I believe. Or the one that shows him the house or something like that. Jeepers Creepers, I love that movie. That's my number 2. Number 3 is From Hell with, I think that was Johnny Depp. Some of these I've not saw in years. I just remember seeing them. And then number 4 is A Ghost of Mars, which is Natasha Henstridge and Ice Cube.
Now we're on the year 2002.
You're still not born yet?
Nope. For animation, number 1, I went Leo and Stitch. 2 was the very first Ice Age. And number 3, Jonah, a VeggieTales movie.
Okay, so that was your last one?
In animation,
So
yes.
this is a little weird because I didn't really, like I said, put mine in order. It's just the order I saw them. But if I had to go, number 1, Lilo and Stitch. I mean, come on. Stitch is awesome. Ice Age, the first one. And then I had 8 Crazy Nights
I haven't
with
seen that movie.
Adam Sandler. I saw it once. It's one of the funniest things I've ever saw. Especially when he calls him a poopsicle. That is hilarious. And then I had Jonah, VeggieTales movie as well.
For comedy, number 1, I put the first Scooby-Doo live action. Number 2, I recently just saw this, Mr. Deeds. I really like that
It's a good
movie.
movie. It's a good movie.
3 was Like Mike.
Oh, I forgot that movie existed.
Yeah, that was my number 3. Number 4, I saw this when I was younger. Big Fat Liar. With Amanda Baines,
yeah. Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz, and
Paul Giamatti.
yes, that was my number 4.
Sad that I remember all that. So mine, I got Mr. Deeds number 1. I saw that maybe a decade after it came out, so it's been some time since I saw that. I have Barbershop. Barbershop's hilarious to me. Master of Disguise, I quote all the time. And then New Guy with DJ Quells is hilarious.
For action, I got the very first Spider-Man with Tobey. Number 2, I got Transporter with Jason Statham. 3, I got Austin Powers Goldmember. I think that was the last one.
Yes.
I got
I
that
believe so.
for number 3. And number 4 was hard. It was either Men in Black 2 or Bourne Legacy, or one of the Bourne movies.
Identity.
Bourne Identity, but I went Men in Black 2.
The only reason I know Bourne Identity is because it's on my list. My number 1 is Spider-Man. And then my number 2 is, and that's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man for anybody that's asking too. It's
I hope you remember it is.
and that's what we've had a couple, so that's why I was, And then for number 2, I have my favorite Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. That's my favorite one. For number 3, I got Bourne Identity, which is the first Jason Bourne, if I remember. Yeah, first Jason Bourne. And then I have Blade 2 as number 4. Blade 2 is actually my favorite Blade.
For drama, I only have 2. My first one is 8 Mile, the Eminem bio story. And then 2 was Blue Crush, because that was the only other one I can remember.
Blue Crush? I don't know that I ever saw that. Is that like the Britney Spears movie?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But that was
Is it a surfer movie, though?
I think
right?
it is.
It is a surfing movie?
I think it is.
So, well, mine would make sense why I have like 4 for everything, because I was, already, 17 at this point. So I was like a junior. I don't know. Anyway, for my drama, I have 8 Mile. Obviously, I love that movie. Road to Perdition is a very good movie. Tom Hanks, I think it's taken during, is it 20s or 30s or something like that? Mm-hmm. It's a mobster style movie to an extent. Number 3, I have Gangs of New York, which I think can also probably be considered action. That's Leonardo DiCaprio, I think Kate Winslet, and Daniel Day-Lewis. I believe that's that one. And then number 4, I have The Rookie with, it's the baseball movie. I think it was that one with Dennis Quaid.
Yes.
Where he's like
a high school
baseball coach, and then he tries back out for the MLB. I almost said NFL, and it's 2 different sports.
Yeah. For horror, number 1, I got The Ring.
Okay.
Number 2, I got Halloween Resurrection. And number 3, I got 28 Days Later. I think it came out that year also.
Yeah. So my number 1 is Signs with it's the M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night. Yeah, M. Night. And then number 2, I have 28 Days Later, which I still love that movie, even though I hadn't saw it in a while. I have Ghost Ship, which is a good movie. It's about a ship that comes back. They're like divers. They look for lost light ships and other stuff. And then I have Cabin Fever, which is a very gross movie, but it's considered horror at this point. Mm-hmm. Horror thriller, I guess.
Now we're back to the year of my birth.
I was a senior in high school.
2003. For animation, I only have 2.
Me too. I bet you the same ones.
The first one was Finding Nemo. That's just because it came out my year.
Dude, it's legend.
It's legend. And number 2 was Brother Bear.
Yep, we got the same thing.
Well, let's go on.
Brother Bear, I think, is one of the saddest animated movies I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah. For
And Finding Nemo is one of the funniest.
For action, number 1, I got Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too fast for y'all?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Number 2, I got Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Didn't even see that one.
Number 3, I got Bad Boys 2. And number 4, I have Daredevil.
So, I guess I didn't see Curse because I see it nowhere on my list anywhere, on any lists, which surprises me because I love that movie. Didn't even see it. I have League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as number 1. Love that movie because it's based on, and there's a comic as well, which I didn't know until a couple years ago. But, it's based on a bunch of your literary characters.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have Kill Bill. I love that movie. That might almost be considered comedy and drama as well, possibly. Number 3, I got Too Fast, Too Furious. I actually saw that one on big screen. Wow, I'm dating myself. And Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 1 and 2 are 2 of my favorite action. I guess you can consider that comedy as well, probably too.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with action nowadays. Could be 3 different categories. So
for comedy, number 1, I went deeper. Cheaper by the Dozen. With Steve Martin.
Deeper by the Dozen.
By Steve Martin. Number 2, I got Bruce Almighty. Number 3, I got Daddy Daycare. And number 4, it's going to shock a lot of people, Malibu Most Wanted.
The movie's actually really funny. That's Jamie Kennedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have not, I think me and you were talking about this not long ago. I still have not fully saw Bruce Almighty. Still. Wow. And that 22 years ago is when that
Yeah.
So my number 1 is Anger Management. I mean, dude, Adam Sandler is still at his peak during this time.
What, Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson's hilarious. Now, some of it is kind of rage bait, but I mean, I still quote some of that movie to this day. Number 2, I got Freaky Friday.
I forgot that movie came out.
That is what Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
I wore out that DVD so much.
Yeah, I know. I remember you watching the craziness out of that. Number 3 is like another one of those guilty pleasure type movies. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Love that movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The problem is I'm admitting it on camera now. Now it's going to be in the ether.
Well, I made it Freaky Friday.
Yeah, but
I could put a Herbie on this list too.
Was that during this time?
I loved that movie with Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, this was like at the big height of her career too. I forgot.
Mean Girls also came out during this decade.
What was the other one that she was in?
Parent Trap was the 90s.
Okay, that's right, because she was a little kid. My number 4 is Old School. And that probably should have been higher on my list, but it's hard to beat the others.
Okay, and drama, the 3 I picked, you could consider comedy also.
Mm-hmm.
But number 1, I went Holes.
Okay.
Number 2, I went School of Rock. And number 3, I went What a Girl Wants.
What a Girl Needs. Sorry.
With, I think, was that Amanda Baines again?
Yeah. Another high to career Disney / Nickelodeon.
I think she was more Nickelodeon.
Yeah, she was Nickelodeon, but I was adding Lindsay in there too, kind of.
Yeah.
My 4 are my number 1 is Last Samurai, Tom Cruise and the guy that they thought was Ra's al Ghul. I can't think of his name right now. Number 2, I have Holes. I've only saw that one time, but it was powerful enough to where I talk about it. Number 3 is Open Range with Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall. It's a Western, but I would consider more drama than that, like way more drama than action. And my 4th one, I have Runaway Jury with John Cusack, and I think it's what's his name? He just passed away recently. Gene Hackman. And I think it's based on a book, but I can't remember who wrote it. So.
For horror, I only had one, and it was Final Destination 2. Which I think is the best. Well, not the best, but one of the best.
See, the only reason I didn't write that one down because I didn't remember it as well. Final Destination, I love the first movie. My number 1 is Freddy vs. Jason. I still watch that movie like almost every year, at least once. This one, my number 2, because after 1, I didn't really put it in order, kind of. My number 2, I just have only saw within the past year and a half, 2 years, is Gothica. That's with Halle Berry, where like her husband gets killed, and then they put her in a psych hospital that she actually worked at, and then like I don't know, she sees ghosts and all this other stuff. That's a really good movie. Number 3, I got Dreamcatcher. It was based on, I think it's a Stephen King novel, and I think they did a remake since, I believe, or have worked on one. And then I have House of a Thousand Corpses, which is by Rob Zombie, which that can almost be considered like an action horror, I guess, to an extent.
For 2004, I just went 1 at each one because I was having difficulty making 4. For animation, I went Shrek 2.
And see, I have Incredibles, and that's it.
For action, I went Spider-Man 2.
Oh, so you only have one of each?
Yeah, that was difficult for me.
So, action, I had Spider-Man 2 as my number 1. And some of mine can be considered comedy, probably, on my second one. My second one is National Treasure, which probably can also be considered comedy or drama. Or because comedy, you know, it has kind of that tinge to it. And my number 3 is Hellboy. And then my number 4 is King Arthur. And that's the one with Ian Garfield, Keira Knightley, and I can't remember the third guy that's in it.
For comedy, I have Mean Girls. I love Mean Girls.
My comedy is White Chicks. That's my number 1.
Funny movie.
My number 2 is Napoleon Dynamite.
I didn't see the movie in full.
And then Around the World in 80 Days. That's the Jackie Chan one.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. For drama, I went Friday Night Lights, the football one.
Oh, I didn't even have. I think that was like my number 5.
I love good football movies.
And I never watched the show though. Wasn't there like a show tie-in?
The show was there was a tie-in, and I also think it was good too. I've heard it was good.
I never watched that, and I heard a rumor that they're talking about doing either a show or another movie, but it's like Taylor Kitsch's characters are grown up and he's going to be coaching or something like that. My dramas are, my number 1 is Passion of the Christ. You know, Mel Gibson, Jim Caviezel movie. Number 2 probably can be considered an action as well, but I got Troy, the movie Troy, based on the Battle of Troy. Obviously, Brad Pitt. That's an all-star cast at this point. Number 3, Man on Fire, is one of my favorite Denzel Washington movies of all time. And then number 4 is Hidalgo. Which both Man on Fire and Hidalgo can be considered action as well, but I have them down as my dramas.
Okay. Where are we at? Horror. This ain't a horror movie, but I want Scooby-Doo too.
It has the horror aspect, though,
yeah,
because it uses like ghosts more.
Yeah.
Than the first one, and so I'd give you that. And that's the better of the 2 movies, in my opinion.
In my opinion, also.
My horror is like a mixture, I guess you could say, of I don't know if I'd say drama, but maybe action and comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I say with a horror tinge, like Alien vs Predator is my like number 1, because I would consider that horror out of all 4 of mine. Well, except for another one. I have Dawn of the Dead as my number 2, which is based on George A. Romero, but this is the remake of it. I think it's considered a remake. Number 3, I have Saw, because it's the first one in the franchise. And then number 4, I have Shaun of the Dead, which is probably more comedy. But it's got, it's a zombie type scenario.
Yeah. So. For number 2005.
I'm there.
My animation was Madagascar. Again, it was a star cast.
Yeah.
Animation, voice cast. And they did 6 other movies, I think.
Oh, there's that many?
There's a lot.
I've only saw 1.
It's like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, wow. Is that all you had?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
For the rest of the years, I only have 1.
Oh, okay. I got you. So, my animation, my number 1 is Madagascar. For the same reason. And I remember, I think, isn't that the same franchise that spawned the Penguins?
Yes.
So that's like another team.
And they got a TV show and they got a movie too.
Yeah. The movie wasn't that great for me, and I never saw the show. But
the show was good.
Number 2, I have Robots.
It's I know what you're talking about. I know the movie.
I think was Elijah Wood the main one. I can't remember who all voiced it, but it was an all-star cast too.
I haven't
I
seen
know
that
Ewan
movie in a
McGregor
while.
is in it too. I've saw it like 3 times,
I've seen it. It's been a while since
but I
I've
also
seen
can't
it.
tell you the full premise of it either.
It's about an evil robot, like an evil mayor robot, or like he's like a mogul, like a big
Yeah,
rich,
yeah.
and he's trying to take over. He's trying to become mayor or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't saw it. So. And then Hoodwinked. Hoodwink is a guilty pleasure, hilarious movie to me because it's it's a different take on Little Red Riding Hood, kind of, and I just love it. Great,
Yeah.
great
I
cast.
haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah, I need to watch it again.
For action preference, I just watched all the Star Wars movies.
Oh, I know what you're putting.
I went Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I just put episode 3.
That's my favorite one.
Well, it's great. I mean, you got the high ground, and how often do we say I got the high ground? And you burn your toast only on the bottom. You're like, oh, that reminds me of Anakin. I have as my number 1 Batman Begins, and then my number 2, and it might be considered horror too, but I got Constantine, and then I got episode 3. If I look back at it, which is Revenge of the Sith, it'd probably be Batman Begins, then episode 3, and then Constantine.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting to where I struggle to find 4 as well. So
For comedy, I went the Wedding Crashers. To me, you can't be a Vince Vaughn Owen Wilson comedy movie. To me, that duo is just hands down just hilarious.
I'll be honest with you, I still haven't saw it.
You haven't seen Wedding? That movie's good.
Yeah.
It's got really a young Will Ferrell in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever heard the clip about mom spaghetti. Like he yells "Mom spaghetti." Yeah, it's just you have to see the movie.
My number 1 is Hitch with Will Smith and
Yeah.
Kevin James. I just love it. I think it's hilarious.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Number 2, I got Longest Yard, the remake with Adam Sandler.
Love that movie.
Number
also.
3, I have Pacifier with Vin Diesel.
love
I actually
that
saw
movie.
that on big screen.
I haven't seen that in a while either.
Well, as I was doing this, before we shot this, I'm sitting here, I was like, man, I don't remember some of these movies being like 20, 25 years old. And then my number 4, and it's kind of a remake, and I think a lot of people forget this remake happened, but Fun with Dick and Jane, which is Jim Carrey and Tia Leone.
Yeah.
And that movie is hilarious as well. So
For drama, I went Narnia. Because
that somehow got left off on my list.
Narnia, the
Yeah.
very first Narnia, that was my drama.
So my drama, I kind of want to take that as well and knock off one of mine, but
Put it on there.
I'll just go with what I got, I guess. I went Flight Plan as my number 1. That's that Jodie Foster one where she, like, if I remember correctly, like, the whole time she's trying to find her daughter, but everybody's like, well, we never saw you come home with a kid. Do you even have a kid? They try to make her sound crazy. My second one is Four Brothers. Great cast to me. You had... what's the guy from Fast and Furious that's Brian's friend? Tyrese Gibson is in it. will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas. I think he's one of the brothers as well. And Mark Wahlberg. It rounds out 3 of the brothers, and the 4th brother is Garrett Hedlund. And then my number 3 is V for Vendetta. Excellent movie. I recommend everybody go watch it. And then number 4 is Coach Carter. It's Samuel
I
Jackson.
forgot about
That's
that
a
movie.
really good movie.
For my horror, I got Saw 2.
So for my horror is Hostel. That movie's just like, it's more of a horror thriller. And then number 2, I have Boogeyman. Not based on the wrestler. It is based on the Boogeyman. That the old tale. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever heard it, but if you're not good, or when you go to sleep, if you're not good, the Boogeyman shows up.
Yeah.
And number 3 is, even though it's probably can be considered a drama or action as well, Brothers Grimm. It's based on the Grimm fairy tales. It's got, I remember Heath Ledger, and I want to say the other one is Orlando Bloom, possibly, or it's Matt Damon, I think, and Heath Ledger are in that movie. It's been too many years since I saw it.
We're on the year 2006 now. I was 3 years old. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I was 3.
I'll be there in an hour. Hold on, let me. I was 21.
Legal drinking age.
But yeah,
Um,
emphasis on some of that.
Animation, I went Cars. I love Cars, the first Cars. I love the Cars franchise, but first Cars I think is legendary.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm hit and miss on Cars, but I would still say that I would put it up there as my only one. I think this is getting to where I kind of was starting to phase out on animation. So
For action, I went Casino Royale, James Bond with Daniel Craig. I think it was Daniel Craig's first one.
Yep.
So I went Casino Royale.
So my number one was 300. I still love that movie. You had Gerard Butler, and this is one of Oscar Isaac's first roles. I remember him. He played Xerxes, King Xerxes. Almost unrecognizable in that movie. My number two is Casino Royale, because I'm a James Bond guy. Not the biggest Daniel Craig, but I still like this movie. And then I have Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is nowadays in timeline, I think it's technically 4 or 5, but it was 3 at this time.
Yeah.
Because this was supposed to be the final movie, and then it reignited the franchise. And then my number 4 is Superman Returns, and mostly because of the story, and that's about it. Action was not great.
Drama. I watch this movie every year. Maybe multiple times. But Talladega Nights. To me, it's so legendary catchphrases.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's Will Ferrell's best movie. But that was my top comedy of 2006.
Oh, comedy. I thought you said drama. So I got. Look, let me go back to my comedy. So my number 1 is Night at the Museum.
I forgot that movie came out that year.
That is a massive all-star cast. You got Ben Stiller, Robin Williams, Owen Wilson.
What's his face?
I want to say Sacha Baron Cohen was in it.
He was the little Troy guy.
Yeah.
You had Rami Malek as
he was
the Pharaoh.
Was he in the first one though?
Yeah, he was. He was the Pharaoh.
I didn't realize he'd been around that long. That's who I was trying to think of. Hank Azaria was in there somewhere.
Yeah, you also had the old guy, 99 years old now. Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
He was.
I thought you were about to say Jean-Claude Van Damme. I was like, no, I don't remember him in there. But yeah, Dick Van Dyke was the other. He was the bad museum guard, right?
Yeah.
My number 2 is Borat. I'm sorry, I love Borat. Borat is hilarious.
I watched a sequel, and that came out in COVID years.
Yes. My number 3, Failure to Launch. I think is it Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey?
I think so.
And my number 4 is Nacho Libre.
Nacho.
Yeah, I still love that movie, even though I've not saw it in a long time.
For drama, I went We Are Marshall. To me, that movie is again like you in drama, based off of true events. It's like the best drama to me. And to me, again, it's a football movie, a tragic football movie with a good.
Yeah, and I think I just saw that for the first time like 2 years ago.
Who's the lead guy?
Jim Caviezel.
Yes,
he's the coach. So my drama is full of randomness, but I got Dreamgirls. With it's loosely based on what I always thought was the Pointer Sisters, but it's one of the ladies is either won American Idol or was in American Idol. Jennifer Hudson? Is that her name? And then Eddie Murphy is like I guess he's like he's either the lead singer or like one of the singers. And then I have Inside Man with, I think it's Clive Owen and Denzel Washington, where like robbing the bank, but Clive Owen like is trying to trick them. And then number 3, I have World Trade Center, which is based on
the Firemen.
It's Nicolas Cage and the guy that always does I think he's the one that does the flashbacks in Ant-Man. I think it's Michael Pena. I think it's the same.
Ain't that about the fire?
They're either firefighters or cops. I think they're firefighters. But it's based on them getting trapped in the rubble when they're trying to help people.
Yeah.
And then my 4th one is Invincible, which is about Vince Papaglia with Mark Wahlberg.
That's the football about the Philadelphia Eagles. I forgot
where he tries out for the team. Yeah.
For my horror, I think is my favorite Final Destination 3. And that was my horror.
The reason I didn't go with a lot of Final Destinations is because I couldn't remember them that well. I know there was a synopsis, but then I was trying to think back of everything.
See, I just recently rewatched all of them.
Yeah. Because we go check out our older video where we did a review on Final Destination Bloodlines. We all enjoyed it. Mine is When a Stranger Calls, which is actually a remake. It's about this babysitter where she's in a house and then she starts getting weird phone calls. Basically the old trope, of babysitter and getting the phone calls. My number 2 is Silent Hill, based on the video game. Sean Bean, I can't ever remember the lady's name, but it's a good movie. And then the movie See No Evil with Kane. Just love that movie. I love that movie. I don't know why.
The year 2000, I was 4 years old.
Yep. Just a wee little boy.
Just a wee little boy. In animation, I went the B movie. Because it's so memeable now.
Oh.
Everybody talks about the B movie. And this was when I was starting to really watch a lot of more movies, per se.
Yeah.
So, to me, there was a lot of good 2007 animation movies for me. Because of, really when you're that age, all you really watch is animation movies.
Yeah.
So, mine was the B movie.
I had nothing.
Okay.
I didn't have a problem with the B movie, but I don't ever talk about it or anything.
Actually, I went to Transformers. I think that's the very first action movie I ever seen in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep at the ending part, but to me, that's the best one out of the franchise.
Yeah. That's all you got for action?
Yeah.
For action, I had Transformers as well. That first movie I thought was really good. We don't talk about the rest of them. And then my number 2 is Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is still a guilty pleasure.
I forgot about that movie.
And a lot of that for me is soundtrack and Sam Elliott. So,
for comedy, I went The Game Plan.
I still never watched that.
To me, it's just so funny. Again, it's a football movie based off of not a real team, but it's got The Rock, a young what's her name?
I don't even know.
I know. I see her face, and then you got it was a legendary cast. It was funny.
Wasn't that one of his first
real comedy
roles?
movies? Yeah.
Wasn't it Main Role too? That was one of his first.
Well, you already had Walking Tall by this time.
It's true, but I guess I would say mainstream because I don't even know.
Well, this was his Disney movie.
But I mean, I don't even think
I think this was his first mainstream movie.
Because Walking Tall, I don't even think was in theaters.
What about was Gridiron not already out for this?
Gridiron Gang? I'm not sure, actually.
This might be his really first.
I know this was his
first solo where he was the main guy.
Disney and comedy, I think it was. Yeah. For comedy, I kind of went all out. But see, I was 22 at this time. You wouldn't have saw some of these movies until probably way later, and then you might not even have gotten to ever see them. My number 1 was Wild Hogs.
That's with
you got
John Travolta,
Martin Lawrence, I think, is in that.
Martin Lawrence.
Is Tim Allen?
Tim Allen's the lead guy, and
who's the fourth guy?
I can't remember the fourth guy because he's the nerd guy with the glasses.
William H. Macy was the fourth guy, and then number 2, Superbad. Dude, Superbad is still
these were 2 later movies for me. That was Jonah Hill's first really main role, ain't it?
Yeah, Jonah Hill was in it. Who is the guy that played
Michael Cera?
Yeah, Michael Cera. Who was the guy that played McLovin though? I like him and I can never remember his name. But Seth Rogen was in it as well. And then I can't remember his partner that was the cop. And then I have Epic Movie. You know me, I love a good parody.
I've seen the movie.
And that made that. And then number 4, Balls of Fury, which was probably should have been my number 1. But that's where he does the tournament. Christopher Walken's the bad guy. But it's a ping pong tournament. That movie is great.
I'll have to see it.
Unless I'm getting it mixed up.
For drama, I went to Bridge of Terabithia. That was the first movie I really remember being like, wow. It had a young cast. Isn't it based off of a book?
Yes.
To me, that
I
was
think it
really.
was a series of books.
I think so. To me, that was the first really emotional movie I've seen that drama wise, and
Watching drama at 4 years
because
old.
I seen it like when I was like at least 10 or above.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
But I think the young girl died in this movie.
Yeah, I think I think it was like halfway through the movie, I believe.
Yeah, it was a wild movie.
It was it was an imagination movie.
Yeah,
It was
because like
one
in
of
the
those
woods, there's
types.
like
Yeah,
imaginary creatures and fantasy creatures and stuff.
and that boy has turned out to do like Hunger Games and all kind of other stuff that I can't remember his name, but he was the one that played I think Peter.
Oh, what's his name?
I can't ever remember his name. Because he also did like that show Future Man, which I heard is hilarious.
He's also he was the main guy in Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah, I can, and he's not that tall. Like he's a monkey.
He's about my height.
I was more shorter.
Yeah.
What are we doing, John?
Drama.
You didn't have anything else? No Country for Old Men. Even though it can be boring at times, that movie's really good.
I had it up there too.
Javier Bardem, Woody Harrelson. I think I just had his name in my head. Tommy Lee Jones. My number 2 is 3:10 to Yuma, which is a remake with Ben Foster. I think Christian Bale's in that as well? And I can't remember who the third person is. And then my number 3 is Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, which is based on a series of books as well.
For horror, I only got Saw 4. That is let me try to play the games in my head. I think this is the one right before this is the one John Kramer died in, I think. I think this is the one where the detective was doing the games.
What is his name? Any other time I could tell you his name.
I think this is the one.
Is it Angus McFadden that was doing that?
I think so, because it also tied into 2.
Yeah.
Because Mark Wahlberg, was it Mark Wahlberg? Donnie Wahlberg was on the ice block, and also did 3, I think, also with a dad.
I think it was tying.
It was tying 2 and 3 together because the doctor that was working on John Kramer was the guy's wife in the third one.
Yeah.
Or the third one, yeah.
I always got all that stuff mixed up.
Yeah.
Because the way they did that movie. My horror, and I don't know, I would consider this horror, but I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I love me a good, like, zombie and apocalypse type things. My number 2 is Halloween. This is the Rob Zombie Halloween. And then my number 3 is 30 Days a Night. Once again, you're looking at, like, I think, was it vampires or zombies? I can't even remember. It's been forever since I saw that movie.
For 2008, I was
5.
Thank you. I have my animation. I only have Wall-E.
My number 1 was Kung Fu Panda.
First one.
Mm-hmm. I love that movie. Jack Black is Poe. Actually, you can make a live action one and just have.
That was a legendary cast.
Yeah. So many names I can't even name them all. My number 2 is Horton Hears a Who.
I forgot that movie.
I love that movie. Can't remember who was Horton. I want to say Jim Carrey for some reason, but I think that's wrong. It might even be Steve Carell. I can't remember. It was somebody like that.
It was one of those two.
And then number 3, I have Star Wars Clone Wars. So the movie, not the show. The movie
I only
that
watched
kicked
the
it
show.
off. So
for action, I went The Dark Knight. I loved that movie. For that year. That's the Heath Ledger Joker one.
Yeah.
I just love that movie, and that's the only one I got.
Him and Two-Face. Ghostface.
I said Scarecrow. So
my number 1 is Dark Knight. My number 2 is Iron Man.
I forgot that year.
Not only great movie, great soundtrack. Number 3 is Taken. Bad Parenting. Number 1, and number 4 Hulk. Because it was the Edward Norton Hulk.
Edward Norton, yeah.
So
for comedy, I just recently saw this movie like 2, maybe 3 years ago. Step Brothers. That to me, I'm a Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah.
I know you feel different, but that's my comedy.
Hit and miss on him. Probably hit and miss is a nice way for me to put it. My number 1 is Get Smart
Oh yeah, I love that
Steve
movie. With Steve
The
Carell,
Rock,
Anne Hathaway,
and Anne Hathaway.
and what's that older dude's name?
Alan Alda? Was it Alan Alda?
Might be. It also had Terry Crews was in
Yeah.
it with Shooter McGavin. No, not Shooter McGavin.
No, it was the other guy.
He's in Will Ferrell.
I don't know. I can't remember his name right now. And then House Bunny. I love the movie House Bunny with Anna Faris. And mostly how could she remember people's names? Like, Blake. You know, the way she says it. I just love that movie. But that's the only two I
For
got.
drama, my only one I have is The Wrestler.
I still never saw that. Did Mickey
With
Rourke?
Mickey Rourke. That movie, I just recently saw it. Like not.
It's two more Marvel people. Mickey Rourke was the bad guy in Iron Man 2. And Marissa Tomei is Aunt May.
That movie is really good. You should watch. You should try to find it.
I've never saw it.
It's really
Wanted
good.
to, but never watched it.
The reason how I saw it was because Deadlock was doing a watch along.
Oh, okay.
So I watched it with them, but still technically I consider I watched it, and it was a really good movie.
My number one, I'm probably gonna get, probably people might not like this, but Gran Torino. I love the story of Gran Torino. Is the main character a piece of garbage? Yes, but I think towards the end of the movie, you're kind of like, I feel like he changes as the movie goes. Clint Eastwood movie, excellent movie. I'll recommend it for everyone, unless you just can't handle certain things. And then I got number two, and it probably would be slept on, but Vantage Point. What it is there's like a public figure assassination, and it goes from a bunch of different people's viewpoints. Anywhere from Secret Service to somebody in the crowd to a photographer to the actual person who did it. It's a great movie, in my opinion.
For horror, I went Saw 5. That's all I got.
You just watched every Saw movie.
Well, I recently saw it the past 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. My number one is Cloverfield. I love that movie.
that almost made the list.
That's another one of those movies, if I remember correctly, it's just like you either like it or don't, because it's kind of dark throughout the movie a lot. Sometimes it's hard to see. My number two is Midnight Meat Train, and that's a guilty pleasure movie. Basically, it's about over so many centuries, there's this person who kills people on the Midnight Meat Train, which is, the night train is like midnight. It's like late. And they called it the meat train because only certain people, the ones who was doing the killing, could see it was like a, like if you go to a grocery store and it's where they keep the meat hanging, or those warehouses, that's basically what it was alluding to.
2009. I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was not a good year for movies for me.
How was I 6 years old? Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, if you add it up, that's usually how it works.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it just don't feel, I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm older than I am.
You are.
For animation, I only went one this whole year. Animation, I went up.
I didn't have any. I didn't watch anything. I've saw bits and pieces up, but other than that, most of those movies, I'm like, I don't think I saw any of these.
For action, I went Fast and Furious. I think the rebrand of the franchise or something like that. Well, not rebrand.
Oh, that was what, number 6?
No, it can't be. It was like
No, this would have been 4.
This was
would have been
4.
4. Yeah.
because it took a long break till Fast 5 came out.
Yeah, because Tokyo Drift was supposed to be the last one, but Tokyo Drift did really good.
I thought Tokyo Drift was just supposed to be like one of those, like how Hobbs and Shaw was.
No.
Because I've never seen Tokyo
It was
Drift.
considered number 3 and ending it.
Okay.
It was just they had changed continents is all it was. It was in Tokyo, Japan. So my action number 1, Sherlock Holmes.
Is that the one with Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. Yes, excellent movie. Excellent.
I haven't seen.
He's
that
like
in a
my
while.
second favorite Sherlock Holmes of all time, which is saying a lot. There's a lot of Sherlock Holmes. My number 2 movie, maybe hot take, but Star Trek the remake with Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana. It's not like all-star cast. There's so many good. Simon Pegg's in it. Chris Hemsworth plays is it Chris Hemsworth?
Or Liam.
It's Chris Hemsworth plays Colonel Pike, I believe. I think. I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw it. And my number 3 is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
For comedy, I went The First Hangover. I think it's just a classic comedy, The First Hangover.
That is my number one. My number two is The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. And I just saw that within the past couple of years. And then Medea Goes to Jail. Movie's hilarious.
Yes.
That could also probably be considered drama as well, possibly.
Yeah, I guess.
Almost any of the Medeas can be considered drama aspect.
But a lot more people think about comedy. Yeah. For drama, I went The Blind Side. Again, another football movie.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Sandra Bullock, that movie was just so good. Yeah. Now he comes out later on and that some of it was flabbergasted, but it don't really matter.
That's pretty much any movie. Yeah. There's going to be change.
To me, that was my drama.
My drama, and I would consider it drama because even in the comics, it's more of a drama, I think, than action. But Watchmen, I love that movie. To me, that's one of your superhero movies, to me, that gets it right. Like the dramatization, very comic-based on it. It's not your prototypical comics. They're more vigilante. They get stuff wrong. I mean, that's what... It's one of those type of, and I think it was Frank Miller that did it. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. My number two is Public Enemies, which I just saw within the past year. That movie's great. Christian Bale. I'm trying to think who's in that now. Johnny Depp. It's based on the G-Men, and they're hunting the top criminals. Are the only two I got.
For the only one I got in horror, I got Saw 6. Mm-hmm. I do believe this was supposed to be like the end of that time.
Yeah. I believe so.
But that's the only horror movie I really liked that year.
All I got is Friday the 13th remake with one of the supernatural guys. I can't tell you who else is in that. I think Adrian Padalecki's in it as well.
Padalon?
No, her name's Adrian Padalecki or something like that. And then the longer-haired one off of Supernatural. I don't know his name. I know the one guy. I don't know the other guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But that's pretty much where you're at.
Yep. So, let us know what other decades you want us to do. That's all I had for today.
Yeah. So, like, share, subscribe, come back for some more. If you got some ideas, let us know.
Peace.
We'll see you.